Right, so based on the simple fact that Peter Stroud and myself had so much fun chatting, and obviously I learned so much just sitting and listening to his literally endless stories and great wisdom regarding drums, that this video has been extended into 2. Now, we could have made this much longer because the amount of stories and knowledge this guy has, we had to cram it into 2 vids, but there you go. He's got a second part, and you're going to see that up next. And again, very interesting stuff. Keep it locked. So today you tested out the Fred Gretsch special edition.
What a beautiful little kit. I'll just say the one thing that always stands out for me, Gretsch bass drums are just fantastic.
Well, you made it sound great.
Well, I've bought 2 kits off Mark, which are mid-70s Gretsch. It's my era again. I love those kits. Mm-hmm. And the bass drums are just 22 by 14, and I'd just forgotten, because I've been through so many drum kits in the last 25 years. I've just forgotten. The bass drums are just phenomenal.
And you found that with this Fred?
Yeah, and that 20, we just put it in here, and it was bang. It was kicking, you know.
Straight
I mean,
up.
the other drums are great as well. It was a lovely little kit, you know. But yeah, there's something about Gretsch. I keep going back to them, and it's just a class act, an absolute class act.
Amazing. It's a 20-inch kick, which for some people, especially modern drummers, they would say it's not enough. What would you find? I mean, obviously you've played in front of thousands of people, and you've played on the pub scene as well, small gigs. What did you find about that kit? Is it versatile enough to kind of cross the divide?
Definitely. I mean, I've used a lot of 20-inch bass drums. The kit that I bought to replace the stolen Gretsch was a 2012-14 Gretsch. And I did a heavy rock band in the 70s called Sassafras. All those college dates, that was with a 2012-14. But of course, if you're mic'd up, it doesn't matter what size your bass drum is, you know, you're going to get the sound out of it, you know, through the monitors or whatever, you know. Again, coming back to Gretsch bass drums, they seem to sort of, you know, punch above their weight, definitely. You know, you could use that kit anywhere. Those, you know, that small Gretsch kit. Again, I went on to 20s because one of my sort of mentors, Henry Spinetti, who's a Welsh guy from the same town as me, who's had a stellar career with Clapton and Joan Armatrading and Leo Sayer and you name it, he's done it all. He had a little 20-inch Gretsch kit, and that's what he used to use in the, you know, through his early career. He plays Sona now. I've seen him with Clapton lately, but he was always a 20-inch guy, you know. And I mean, he's the drummer on Baker Street.
Okay.
So you know, he was like hot to trot for years. Great drummer. Les is one of the first less is more drummers. Always telling me, don't be busy, don't be too busy. You know, keep it sort of minimalist, and he was saying that in like 72.
And the 20 was always enough for him.
20 was fine. Yeah. Yeah.
The cymbals that you used as well. You use a range of Zildjians.
Well, that's one of my sets, but a couple of those, or the hi-hats, the one crash, they're all bought second-hand at Drumshack, you know. I mean, I just would like to say, guys, you know, the USP about Drumshack is Mark takes part exchange, he sells second-hand gear. Not many drum shops do that, or guitar shops, really. Everybody wants to sell you new stuff, but you can come to Drumshack, sift through all this great old stuff and find little gems that are, you know, half the price of the new stuff. So, and I've done that, and shall we brush on this? This is one of my favourite snare drums, a Ludwig 410 from the 70s.
Lord.
I seem to prefer, I love Ludwig snares, obviously, like most drummers. But this is a 70s one. For some reason, I prefer 70s Ludwig snares to 60s. They're a bit less clangy.
Okay.
And this is the 410, obviously, the upgraded 400.
How long have you had this for?
I bought this off Drumshack 18 months ago. I part X'd an ordinary 400 for it. It didn't cost me a lot of money, and it's just my favourite snare drum. You know, it does everything. And if you check out on YouTube, if you look at Buddy Rich when he was sponsored by Ludwig, that's the snare drum he used, the 410. Yeah.
And so you've used this
super sensitive, isn't it?
Super sensitive, yeah.
Yeah, I used it at the Barbican with William. It's not like I only use it on special occasions because it's so good. You don't want to get too used to it. You know?
What would be your kind of banger snare that you take out for every gig that you know?
Well, funny enough, at the moment I've got about 8 snare drums, and I mean whatever's in the car goes to the gig. But I've been using a 402 at the moment, like the John Bonham one.
Yeah.
I've probably had that drum for 35 years. I swapped it for a Gretsch wooden snare drum, round badge snare drum, for some reason. I've had that, and that's a beautiful, immaculate 70s Ludwig 402. Again, you know, Gretsch snare drums, that you could hear that snare drum today. It was lovely, it was kicking. But as a workhorse, a working tool, a Ludwig snare drum is just, I'm sorry, I've probably had 30 snare drums in my life, and I keep coming back to Ludwig. They just speak to me and say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you have on the top of it? Is this an bat?
Yeah, or I'll put a reverse dot. I'm not fussy, but whatever. But as I said, I picked that up in Drumshack. And it's like I've wanted one for 40 years, you know.
One of these?
Yeah, Ludwig Super Sensitive 410, and there it is, and it's great. And it wasn't an arm and a leg.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted a Slingerland, and I'm sure in 40 years I'll get one.
Okay, yeah, so there we are. Back to the cymbals. The cymbals, I bought some of those second-hand with Mark, and I use them on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, there's great new gear in Drumshack, obviously, but there's also that little Aladdin's Cave of second-hand gear that that is so rare. Nobody wants to take anything off you anymore, but Mark will give you hard cash for these goods.
There you go.
All right, yeah.
Wheeler dealer, Mark. We'll sort you out, mate.
And Kwesi will also, while you're there, impress you with lots of drum licks that you got no chance of playing in a million years. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, but I don't have this guy's gigs, so it just shows, doesn't it?
Well,
man, we're so grateful to have you today.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
I've learned so much, obviously, from both your playing and the insight that you've given.
Okay.
And we're just happy to have had you down. And I'm sure Drumshack and Mark is really happy to have you as a customer all these years. How many years? Jeez.
Right, I knew Mark before he opened up the shop when he had
like 20 years.
He lived in Wimbledon Park. Jeez. And he had the DW kit that was ex-Pink Floyd. That was one of his first big sales, I think. He sold that for Mark, $3,000 or something. But it did have an association with Pink Floyd, so it was probably worth the money.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've known Mark a long time. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming down. I really do appreciate that.
Pleasure.
And I know Mark's going to be ecstatic, aren't you, Mark? And please let us know how you've enjoyed this, and what you've learnt about the sound of the Gretsch kit. We can go into a bit more detail on the spec. You can see that on the website as well. Also, if you want to have a look at the range of second-hand cymbals we have, namely Zildjians, because there's always loads of Zildjians on the site, feel free to have a look. Yeah. This guy is sure to inspire anyone to want to have a look at this stuff. So, this is what this is for.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
see you again soon, and we'll be back with another bit of shenanigans for you. And thanks for watching this episode. We hope you like what you've seen. Please do comment, subscribe, like it. Is his drumming what you aspire to? Let us know.
No.
And and here we have a word of wisdom from Mr. Stroud himself.
No problem.
Take it away.
Okay. I'm working with William Bell, one of the great soul singers. And all I say to drummers is, if you're working with a vocalist, don't get in his way. Yeah? I'll say no more. You know what I mean. Don't get in the singer's way.
Bye for now.
It's good advice, honestly. Bye.